everyone, I hope you're doing well. If you don't already know who it is, it's the one and only, the true Alex J. Today we're going to be talking about the Monero price predictions for 2018. Now, what is Monero? Monero is a privacy coin. Now, what does that mean? It's a privacy cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, if you don't already know, is traceable. So whenever you make a transaction, it goes into a ledger and they can see the time and where it was transferred to, and they can basically trace it from A to B, and there's an exact time, it's all in the ledger. And a lot of people love this because they say, you know, there's no corruption, you can't be corrupt in this system because we can see where it's gone and who's got it and everything else. But what people didn't really realize, and I did a video about this on Facebook quite a while back, is I was worried about the whole privacy part of that, because my point was this: you've already got social media, so the government can already see your face and they can already see where you're going and everything else. They can already see all your social circles. Then you're giving them your thumb recognition if you've got an iPhone. Then you're giving your face recognition if you've got the new iPhone. For me, it's just mind-blowing how much information they've got. They've got your GPS on your phone, they've got everything. And then to go one step further, now they can see all your transactions if you're using Bitcoin, or most other cryptocurrencies for that matter, because they use a ledger, which means it's traceable. Like I said, they can see where it goes from A to B. The governments now have a piece of technology where they're able to trace who has that wallet. So they can actually see who owns what wallet. So basically, the government can see into your account. They can see who's transferring money to who, where it's going, what you're buying, when you're buying it, and everything else, which to me, it's extremely worrying. I mean, would you want your governments going through all your bank statements and questioning why you're buying this magazine? Why do you have a subscription to this website? You know, why did you give your money to this person or that person or whatever? They can see all of your money. And then to go one step further, obviously there's the whole problem with tax. A lot of people aren't sure, do I need to pay tax on crypto? Are they going to catch me if I don't pay tax on crypto? It's something that a lot of people were really worried about. Monero, if you don't already know, is a privacy coin. So I want to talk about why Monero's price will surge in 2018. The reason that I believe that it's going to surge this year, the reason that I believe Monero's price will rise, perfect for a lot of people. The reason being is because it's a privacy coin, which means it's not traceable. The way that Monero creates is genius. It basically hides IP addresses, it puts fake addresses in there, so it's really difficult to see, you know, who's got what, where it's going, who's got it. And there's a piece of technology that the government used to track Bitcoin, and it said that 10% of Bitcoin transactions are from criminals, which, by the way, is really high. I just thought I'd point that out. It's really high, that 10% is warned, like is triggered to come, the money has come from a stolen source, or it's from a scam, or some other illegal activity. But it's crazy that 10%, I mean, that's a huge amount, right? It means that a lot of people are getting stolen money and it all gets muddled up and it gets muddy. That's why this whole cryptocurrency situation is a bit weird. But the thing about Monero is that it hides everything. And yes, a lot of criminals are now moving from Bitcoin to Monero, which can obviously increase its price. But I think it's also going to be used by a lot more common people, because I think regular people don't want their government seeing everything they're doing. They don't want them to see every penny that they're spending, everything they're buying. I mean, I personally wouldn't want the government watching over my shoulder every time I spent a little bit of cash. You know, why are you buying that? Who's that for, right? So my other worry as well is that if you allow the government to trace every single piece of your money, it means that you're more open, you're more vulnerable to slander. So let's say, for example, that you was a political person, right? And you're trying to become the president of the United States. The government could go through every single one of your purchases and see exactly what you've been purchasing, and they could say, well, you're a bad person because did you know in 2018 he purchased this, or he purchased that, or he went to this hotel, and this hotel is linked to this group, and that group of bad people. And it's like, whoa, 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 I just stayed at a hotel. Like, they can see everything, which is crazy. But if you'd have paid in cash, that wouldn't have happened. Or if you paid in Monero, it also wouldn't have happened because it wouldn't have been untraceable. And this is kind of my point, is I don't feel comfortable with the government being able to track every single thing that you do. I believe that Monero is going to increase in value. I think a lot of people are going to see the value behind having money that isn't accessible to the government, having money that isn't traceable. I think that's something that people are going to want. I don't believe that everyone's going to want all their cards on the table. That's my personal opinion. Now, again, I know it's open to criminals. I know that it opens up for corruption and everything else, but so does money, man. So does cash, right? So I can see some pros, I can see some cons. I'd love to hear your opinion. If you can leave a comment below, tell me what's your opinion on Monero. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Personally, I think it's going to increase in price. Last year, in the last 2 months, it actually outperformed Bitcoin in its performance. It rose dramatically, which I'm not really surprised. And again, I think this year it's going to do the same. I think it's just going to continue to go strength to strength to strength. As long as the government doesn't figure out a way of making it traceable. So again, I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on Monero? Please make sure to leave a like on this video. Please make sure to also subscribe for more news, because there's news coming out every single day. And make sure as well that you share this with your friends, because why the hell not? Share it with your friends, share them love. I'd really appreciate it. I'll speak to you guys again soon, but in the meantime, peace.